From Crunchbase.com, we collected the co-investment activities among 335 active US investors between August 2014 and July 2016. Hence, there are 335 Ego networks. Each has 24 snapshots. In Investor A's Ego network in month T, Investor B is present if A and B co-invested in the same company in that month. An edge in an Ego network snapshot represents a co-investment. Each node has an attribute which represents the investor type. The attribute can be one of venture capital, micro venture capital, individual, corporate venture capital, accelerator, angel group, and so on. We use brown to encode the node attribute which appears the most frequently, that is venture capital, and pale yellow to encode node attribute which appears the least frequently, that is investment bank. From the network view, we can see that there is a large number of venture capital nodes. Indeed, out of the 335 investors, 225 investors are venture capitals. To get a sense of the size distribution of the dynamic Ego networks, we want to create an MDS plot in which the Ego networks that maintain a comparable size are closer. We create two event types, size between 10 and 60, representing size is large, and size between 0 and 2, representing size is small. From the MDS plot, we observe that there are a few companies which maintain a large size over time, such as New Enterprise Associates and SV Angel. And there are a few companies which maintain a really small size, such as Biogenerator. We click on these two large Ego networks to inspect the timeline visualizations. We can see that the dark brown area is the thickest, indicating that they co-invest a lot with venture capitals. It is natural because most of the 335 US investors are venture capitals. After this initial exploration, I determined that co-investment with venture capital is not interesting, and I want to investigate how the investors co-invest with other types of investors. I add the event type. Individual appears in the Ego network. We can see that New Enterprise Associates is now closer to the other investors, while SV Angel is still far away from the other investors. This is because, like most other investors, New Enterprise Associates does not co-invest frequently with individual investors, but unlike most other investors, SV Angel co-invests very frequently with individual investors. We know this because SV Angel has a lot of green pixels, but New Enterprise Associates has very few green pixels. Next, we add the event type. Corporate venture capital appears in the Ego network. This time, SV Angel moves closer to the other investors, while New Enterprise Associates moves further away from the other investors. This is because, like most investors, SV Angel does not co-invest a lot with corporate venture capitals, and unlike most investors, New Enterprise Associates co-invests frequently with corporate venture capitals. We can see that SV Angel has fewer green pixels, but New Enterprise Associates has many green pixels. We suspect that there might be some strategic differences among the investors regarding the type of investors they co-invest with. We hypothesize that there are investors who co-invest a lot with corporate venture capitals, but less with individual investors. And there are investors who co-invest a lot with individual investors, but less with corporate venture capitals. We create two event types. Corporate venture capital appears in the Ego network, and individual appears in the Ego network. By inspecting this interesting MDS plot, we can see that there are three different regions: the top right region, the bottom right region, and the left region. In the top right region, the investors have a lot of green pixels, meaning that they could invest very frequently with corporate venture capitals. In the bottom right region, The investors have a lot of blue pixels but less green pixels, meaning that they co-invest more with individual investors than with corporate venture capitals. In the left region, the investors do not co-invest frequently with corporate venture capital and individual investors. These investors have very few green or blue pixels.